Hello and welcome to Chair Yoga with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and today will be a 45-minute full body chair yoga session. So this class is for anyone who is aging gracefully. So if you're lucky enough to be watching this video, then you're aging. It doesn't matter what age you are. This class can be of value, whether you are traveling and would like the support of a chair rather than going down to the floor, whether you are working with a recovering injury and perhaps there's some imbalance within the body, or for any other reason that a chair is supportive to your yoga practice. There are numerous other props you might have available, maybe a wall. We will come to standing or the option of standing for a few of the postures today. So a wall might be handy for balance. You might have two blocks as I have here, or something of similar height. So maybe some sturdy books or something else that you could reach to. You might have a strap, perhaps to help. I don't have one today and won't really be demonstrating it, but if you have a yoga practice and know how to use a strap, feel free to have that handy. And maybe a blanket for the final rest at the end to provide some warmth and comfort. You don't need to have a yoga mat, although it might be helpful to have underneath your chair to help with stability and balance. And just make sure your chair does not have wheels. If you find this class helpful, you could subscribe and follow along or share with others who you know who would benefit from a full 45-minute chair yoga practice. So we'll begin centering. You might close your eyes or soften your gaze. I like to use a tuning fork to center, so if you have something that gives a sound vibration or vibration on the body, you might use something like this just to center into the day. Maybe using it on your heart, your forehead, a joint that you'd like to spend a little extra focus on today. And just coming to our breath. So your eyes could be closed or your gaze soft. The hands could be resting on your legs, palms up or palms down. If there's a hand mudra, a gesture of the hands that you're comfortable with, maybe it's as simple as bringing the index finger and thumb together. You could do that as well. Finding this point of attention with the breath as we start to notice just how the breath is arriving to the practice today. We're not spending a lot of time here, but just noticing your inhale, your exhale, and the spaces between the inhale and the exhale. You might start to lengthen the breath as you inhale, feeling the abdomen expand, the chest expand, and as you exhale, feeling the whole body melt into your chair. Maybe making this a 3-part Dirga breath. Inhale at the level of the abdomen, inhale a second breath, inhale a third breath, and exhale fully. Taking any of those options of breath for just a couple more rounds as we ground and center into this session together. And continuing to keep the focus on the breath, or just let the breath find its own natural rhythm, as you might choose to set an intention here. In yoga, we call this your sankalpa. For you, it might just be a word or a value that you bring into this time together, into your day, your week, any span of time. Some examples may be patience, trust, maybe a mantra or an affirmation that resonates with you. And allow this intention to be like a seed that you're planting into the fertile soil of your heart, your mind, and your consciousness that's ready to bloom and manifest at just the right time for you. And letting your intention go, knowing the seed has been planted. Maybe letting the arms rest down to the sides. If the eyes are closed, you can start to flutter the eyes open. Just begin to feel your posture here. Feel where the body is resting on the chair. Maybe you're slightly forward of your sitting bones. Maybe you're leaning back. Can you find that place where your shoulders are over your hips, your ears are over your shoulders, your feet are about hips width apart, meeting the earth? And from here, we'll start to take some shrugs of the shoulders up towards the ears and then back down. Adding the breath to the movement today. So as we inhale, we let the shoulders rise up. And as we exhale, out the mouth or the nose, let the shoulders lower down. A couple more times like that, nice and slow and gentle. Good. And then we'll add on. So we're going to inhale. As you lower your chin towards your chest, start to lift the shoulders up. Notice the difference in this cue. As you start to lift your head, the shoulders lower down. So this time the shoulders aren't going to the ears. The shoulders are a little behind your ears, and we're getting a deeper stretch in the back of the neck. So as you inhale, lower the shoulders, lower the chin to the chest, and lift the shoulders to the sky. As you exhale, lower down, come back up. I'll just do that about 2 more times. Lowering chin to chest, lifting shoulders to ears, shoulders to sky, and lower down. And 1 more time, lowering chin to chest, and lower back down. Bring the hands to the shoulders, fingertips touch the shoulders. We'll draw some circles of the elbows. And yoga is a lot about finding balance within the body. So one shoulder might be feeling quite different as far as the range of motion, the speed. So anything we do, you could always take one side out or do one side and then the other. Listening to your body, staying with your breath and awareness, knowing how far is too far and what is just enough for today. And after these few circles, we'll lower the arms back down. Taking a side lean to your right, let the right side lean over. If you have an armrest, you could also just rest the arm on your leg if the armrest is in the way, and then leaning the other way. Or you could also reach one arm up and over and then lean the other way. So always give at least 2 variations for everything, because we're all coming with a different day, different body, different experience. After this next round, come back to center. And we're going to inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. It could be out to the side, or you could reach the arms forward and up. So we're going to add the breath, whichever way felt better on your arms, or you could rotate and do both. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time, whichever way you're going. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, lower down. Let the hands come to your thighs. Gaze to your toes. Keep a tall spine. Inhale, come up just to your fingertips, so a halfway lift. Exhale, look to your toes. Heart melts towards your thighs. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Maybe the gaze follows to the ceiling. And exhale, lower the hands to heart center. Anjali Mudra, palms rest at heart center. Good. From here, we'll interlace the hands, press the heels of the hands away from the body. Find a little bit of a stretch here, maybe higher, maybe lower. And maybe the thumbs feel better pointed up to the sky or down towards your lap. And then start to release the hands. Let the hands rest down to the sides. Good. Hug your right knee in. And if hugging the knee in doesn't feel good, just lift the heel, or maybe hold under the thigh in front of the shin. And we'll start to circle the ankle a few times, and then the other way. and point and flex the foot. And then take the knee to go in and out, just gently, maybe little circles, awakening our hip. And then we're going to stretch the leg just halfway. You don't have to stretch it all the way if the knee doesn't like that. Little stretch and lower. Now, as the right foot comes down to the floor, pause here and just notice and feel if there's any subtle difference between your right leg and your left leg. Feeling all the way from the lower abdomen or hip to the foot touching the earth. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but it's nice to notice and feel that difference before we lift the left leg or your opposite side. First, just hugging the knee in. Whatever that feels like, try to keep the spine lifted. And then circle the ankle a few times one direction and then the other direction. And we'll point and flex the foot. And take the knee to go in and out a few times or around in circles. Okay, lowering the foot back down. Notice and feel how this side feels now. Now we're going to come to the number one exercise mostly for balance. So this is great for everyone. It's also very strengthening and stabilizing for the core, the glutes. So it's sit to stand if you're familiar with it or have watched any of these videos that I've included this. So coming to bring, and there is a short that explains it too, if that's ever helpful for you, letting your feet come to about hips distance apart and maybe the toes turn just slightly outward. Now, if you're spending the class in the chair, then you'll just lift and lower your heels, and that's plenty. So if you're opting to stay in your seat today, you can lift and lower your heels here, or you could lift and lower one foot. If you're coming to the sit to stand, we're going to ground the feet. Hands could press together at heart center or reach forward. If you have another chair or a wall or something you want to reach towards, you could hold that as you squeeze the glutes, lift the chest, and then lower back down. So we're going for 10. We lift and lower. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Squeeze the glutes, lift the chest. Keep the spine long. Come to your breath. If you don't want to sit all the way down, that's okay too. You could just do squats here or come to stand behind your chair, holding the chair, taking little chair squats here. So when you reach 10, we're probably close. We're going to stay standing. So when you've done 10 or what feels enough, if you're coming to stand today, you'll come to stand and moving the chair to the side so we can have the chair available to hold on to. We'll leave the chair here and we're going to come to a warrior flow. So we'll come to a warrior 2, letting your right foot come forward, bending the right knee. The left foot is back. You can hold on to the chair with the right hand and reach the left arm back, or you could reach the right arm forward, shoulders over hips, gaze forward. Pause and hold. Staying here for your warrior 2. Breathe into it. If the shoulders don't like the extension, keep the hands at heart center or at the hips. If the neck doesn't like looking that direction, you can keep the head facing between the shoulders. Lots of variations. If you want to stay in the chair, you could do the same thing, letting one foot come out to the side in the chair or just open the arms up to a T with your feet facing forward in the chair. Now we're going to flip the right palm, flip your front palm, reach the arm up towards the sky. If you want to hold on to the chair, you could hold on to the chair too with your hand or move the chair to the other side. Breathe here. With the next breath, come back to warrior 2, the right hand forward. We're going to take the hand to the chair or the thigh and reach the left arm up and overhead so the palm faces down, finding extended side angle. So we feel this nice long stretch from the outer edge of the left foot all the way up to the left fingertips. Keep the neck long. Feel the whole left side of the body awakening. Find a gazing point that's comfortable for the arm. If the left arm doesn't like being up here, you can keep the hand at the hip or down by the side. Same thing, a little less pressure on the arm and shoulder. Another full breath here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale deeply. Use your core strength and your stability. Maybe use a chair to press back up to your warrior two. And we're going to take the hands to the chair, step the back foot up, and come back so we're facing the chair. From here, we'll take a couple heel lifts, so letting the heels lift and lower. You can stay holding the chair for this, lifting and lowering the heels. And then if accessible, we're going to lower the heels and lift the toes. So now we're rocking the calves as you lift and lower. Lift the heels, lower the heels, lift the toes. Stay with this for a few more rounds. You could do this in your chair too, seated. You could hold the wall. Start to feel what's activating, what's awakening. Good. Let's just do one more round here and then pause in our mountain pose, our standing mountain pose. Your feet are hips distance apart, just like we started seated. The shoulders over the hips, ears over the shoulders. Feel the balance, the strength, the stability. Deep breath in. Full breath out. And we're going to take that same warrior flow on the other side. So I'm going to switch my chair around. You could keep yours the same unless you need to change it for the angle. So the left foot is towards the chair, the right foot is back. If you need a higher setting to reach onto or a different setting, you could always put a block or a book on your chair seat too. So starting to bend into your front knee, shoulders over hips, gaze over the left shoulders, pause in here. Hands could be at the waist or at the heart. Gaze goes where the neck is comfortable. Feet are grounded. Left hand could be holding the chair the whole time. No pressure to overextend. The chair is there for support. You could be seated too. You're just looking the opposite way over your arms now. And with the next breath, we'll flip the front palm and reach the arm up and overhead. Feel the opening in the side of the waist, maybe up the hip. With the next breath, take the hands back to the warrior two, bringing the left hand to your chair or to the block or the seat, and reaching the right arm up overhead, extended side angle. Feel the length. The arm could be here or down to the side. The knee could be less bent and you could be higher. Breathe into it for up to 2 more breaths. Good. With the next breath, start to reach the right arm back, the left arm forward, coming back to your warrior two. And we're going to take the hands back to the chair. Step the feet back behind your chair, and we'll find a downward facing dog variation. So holding on to the back of the chair, stepping the feet back. We'll let the palms rest on the back of the chair, the hips point backwards. You might widen your heels a little bit. You might bend your knees more. See how you feel here, feeling the reach from the tailbone to the fingertips. You could be holding, you could have the tops of the hands on the chair, or you might even be reaching for your seat of the chair. You might not have the hole in the back of the chair, so you could flip the seat the other way and keep the hands maybe at the seat of the chair. Find a nice long spine. The knees could be bent, or you could be pedaling out the feet. Maybe the feet need to walk a little further backwards. Relax the jaw, relax the face, relax the neck. And with the next couple of breaths, we're going to take our time to come back to stand. So whether the hands are at the seat of the chair, the back of the chair, bend to the knees, bring the hands back up to the hips, the back of the chair, the thighs, and rise back up to standing. Good. Okay, we're going to use the seat of the chair now. So I'm going to just slide mine back this way. And depending on how high your seat is, you may also use blocks if you need to bring the earth a little higher and bring your seat a little higher. So we're going to go through a little bit of a flow and modify, find it in a chair, do what you need to do, leave comments below if you have questions on different modifications. I'm happy to make a short or video that explains that more. So starting in a mountain pose in the front of the chair, gaze forward, we're going to start to sit the hips back into a chair pose. So the hands could be at the back of the chair, the seat of the chair. Maybe you're testing your balance and taking the hands off the chair. So we're just like we did with the sit to stand, it's like we're sitting in a chair. Strong core, long spine, strong glutes. One more breath. On the next breath, we're going to bring the hands to the seat of the chair. So whether that's the blocks, the seat, or the back, lift the hips. So we're in this L shape, gazing towards the seat. So long spine, long legs, maybe a nice little hamstring stretch here. And then with the next breath, we're going to step the right foot back. So stepping your right foot back, whatever distance that right foot's going to go. So we're in this lunge position. You might come a little forward and back here. Keep the gaze forward, look to the horizon. Strong core. Breathe here. And with your next breath, we're going to start to step the right foot forward again. Come back to your chair pose. Lower your seat. Hands could stay at the blocks, the back of the chair, or test the balance. One more breath here. Start to rise back up to your L shape. And then step your left foot back. Find your lunge. Maybe come a little bit forward and back here. Good. Start to step your back foot, the left foot up to meet the right foot now. Coming back, one more chair pose. Sit the hips back, hands at the seat, the back of the chair, the sky, wherever you can reach. And with the next breath, start to rise back up to your mountain pose. Standing here in front of your chair, feel the strength, the stability, the balance. Good. Okay, so we can move the blocks, maybe have one accessible for your foot, and a couple variations of tree pose. So if you're against a wall, you could stand against the wall if you want to use the back of the chair to hold on to, or the block for a resting point of your foot. Those could all be options. So starting with the foot closest to the chair as your rooted leg, going to ground down into that leg. Really focus on the core of your body as you start to lift the opposite foot up. The toes could stay down the whole time. The hand can hold the chair the whole time. Maybe the toes come to the block. Maybe the foot comes to the leg. And maybe, I'm a little too close to my chair, maybe you start to let go of the hand. It's there for you. Maybe the wall's behind you. Your arms could come to the heart. Feel the length of the hips, the core, the spine. The arms could extend outward. Stay here, finding your gazing point straight ahead, your drishti point that helps you to keep your balance. And as you gaze to this place that's not moving and you balance here, let the shaking happen. If the legs are shaking or moving, the body, the muscles are stabilizing, they're strengthening. The trees in the forest are not standing still, and you don't have to be either. It's all a practice of strength, stability, balance within the body, the mind, the nervous system. And with your next breath or so, start to lower the foot down. And you can switch your chair to the opposite side, so you can hold on with the opposite hand now. You can switch the block if you used it. So it can be helpful to have the leg closest to the chair or support item available for you to hold on to. The other foot can come to the block, the leg, the toes could stay down the whole time. How far this knee is outward is also going to be up to you and your body, so that may look different days, different bodies. Feel the strength, feel the stability, find your props, bring the earth up to you, find where the arms want to be, where the hands want to be. and hold for several breaths. Gaze forward. We'll take up to 3 more breaths on this side. Maybe noticing small differences between one side of the body and the other. Not having to figure out why. Just being with what is as we slowly bring the foot back down. Maybe give the hips and legs a little shake. And from here, we'll make our way back down to the chair. So we'll move aside any props, realign your chair back to your mat or your floor. Grab some water if you have that available. And we'll come back to our seat. As we come back to a seat, we'll take the hands to the shoulders again, just as we did for the shoulder circles, but this time finding a seated twist. So we'll inhale and lengthen through the spine, and exhale, twist to the right. Coming back to center, twist to the left, and continue at a speed that feels good for you. If the hands at the shoulder doesn't feel good, you can bring the hands down to the opposite leg. You could hold at one side for a couple breaths, or continue moving side to side. I'll stay for up to 3 more breaths in whichever way you're taking this seated twist today. And then coming back to center, we'll lower the arms back down. Let's bring the hands into gentle fist in front of you. The elbows can stay in. And we're going to circle the wrist to go to the right. So let both wrists circle to the right. And then change direction, letting both wrists circle to the left. And then let them both go in towards each other. Noticing how that feels. Switching, letting both wrist, both fists, gently go away from each other. And then maybe they go in opposite directions, side to side, around in circles. Shaking the hands out as the palms come to face up. We'll spread the fingertips wide and then curl the fingers in towards the wrist. Extend the hands wide. Curling in towards the wrist. Extend wide. Continue a couple more times. Spreading the fingers and curling, feeling maybe a nice little stretch up the hand and the wrist, a place we don't always send attention to until it starts speaking to us. And then we'll shake out the hands, let the hands shake up and down and around. Bringing the hands back to the legs, we can widen the feet slightly, and we'll take some torso circles. So let the body circle around, letting the ribs come back inside and forward and around. Back to side, forward and around, and then change direction. And you might enjoy having the feet wider for this, noticing what happens throughout the body if your circles become smaller or larger, one way versus the other, wider feet versus narrow. And then taking your time to slow down or stop the circles, bringing the feet back in together. We'll come to extend your right leg forward. I'm going to come to a little bit of an angle. So as the right leg extends forward, you could stay facing forward. We're going to turn the foot to go outwards, center, inward, and center. So feeling this rotation from the hip to the knee to the foot as the leg goes out, center, forward, and center. And then from here, we're just going to see how it feels to lift the leg and lower. Just a couple times, lifting and lowering, keeping the leg as straight as you can. And then lower the foot back down. Hands could come to the thighs, or maybe the right arm reaches towards the foot. This might be an opportunity where you use a strap and strap the foot, finding a hamstring stretch. Or notice how the hamstring just stretches the back of the leg, behind the knee, behind the calf, at the calf. You could also use your blocks here. So if you had blocks, you could reach your hands towards the blocks. You could have your foot more pointed towards the floor or more pointed towards the sky. That will also change up the leg. Keeping the back lifted tends to direct more towards the leg versus rounding over your legs. And we'll stay here for up to 2 more breaths on this leg. Wherever the hands are. Start to slowly walk the foot back in, taking the right foot now to cross over to the left ankle or the top of the knee. So finding a hip stretch, you could be at the floor, at a block, or above the knee. If you're feeling a pull in the knee, you might feel how it feels to let the toes flex back a little bit. If you're not feeling enough stretch, you might just feel as though the outer part of the knee was reaching down towards the earth. Like there's this magnet pulling the leg just a little bit more open. Maybe you start to hinge forward towards the legs. All of these just options, variations, changes that bring a little bit of a different sensation to the body. Good. Slowly start to rise back up, taking the leg to come back down. Maybe tap out the foot and the leg a little bit. We'll switch to the other side. So if you use the blocks, you could bring the blocks to the other side. So you can keep your leg forward. I'm just going at an angle to give maybe a different view. So with the left leg forward now, we're going to take the leg to go in, center, out, and center. Feeling this rotation from the hip to the knee and down the leg. So we go out, center, in, and center. A little bit of freeing of the joints, awakening of the body. A balance from one side to the other. And then we'll pause. So the knees and the legs are facing the same direction. Hands could stay at the thighs. You could lean forward from here. Or maybe you don't need to lean forward. So I'll show from this angle. Are you leaning forward, or the arm is extending forward, or the hands are reaching towards blocks. Stay with it for a few more breaths. Maybe you have that strap wrapped around your foot and you're getting the stretch by holding on to a strap or belt. If it feels better on your chair, you could come to the side of the chair if that works better for your seat and your alignment. Might depend on the type of chair you're sitting in today. And then take your time to rise back up, coming back to center and setting up the blocks or props that you would like to come to that seated figure 4 hip stretch. So the foot could come to the ankle, to the block, or to the top of the knee. Feel as though the knee was reaching down towards the floor, feeling a slight opening to the outer hip, maybe into the low back. You could stay lifted. You could let the knee lift and lower. Or you could hinge forward like your heart is melting to the space between your legs. Another breath or 2 here. Without forcing or straining, just letting the body ease into it, letting go of anything that may be held in this hip or side of your body. And taking your time to slowly come back up, releasing the leg back to the floor, letting the knees sway side to side. Okay. Let's come to a seated eagle pose for the arms. So working into the arms a little bit here. You're going to take the arms to extend out to the sides, nice tall posture, and take the right arm to come under the left. You might stop here at a wide V. You might bring the hands to the shoulders. The idea is to open up the space between the shoulder blades And if that is working for your arms today, stay there, or maybe bring the backs of the hands together or bind the arms so the palms come together. You don't need to go as far as any of those. It's just as effective to stay here if this is what works on your shoulders today. And then from here, there are lots of options. So whichever one you're in, whichever of these eagle variations, you might see how it feels to lift the arms, lift the heart towards the sky, and exhale round towards the earth. Doesn't need to be a big movement, just the shoulders and head bowing to the earth. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, round forward. Really breathing into it. Maybe 2 more rounds of that as you inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Taking your time to come back to center. Gently and mindfully release the arms to the sides. Let the arms sway down to the sides. You could take the hands back to the shoulders if that feels like a better circle, or maybe even lean forward and let the arms dangle for a breath. Taking time to slowly come back up. We'll switch to do the opposite arm direction. So if you followed the way I did, it's going to be the left arm under the right. If that feels like the same thing you just did, you could switch and do the other side. If you accidentally do the same side twice, that's okay. Maybe that side just needs it. So the arms could be out, hands could be at the shoulders, arms could interlace any amount, so palms together, back of the hands together. Your shoulders may be rotating different today on one side versus the other. Same idea, we can pause here and just feel what this feels like for the body. Noticing the neck, the space between the shoulder blades. Maybe you start to rise to the sky, gaze upwards, a little lean back, and fold towards the earth. A few more times. If you did this on the other side and enjoyed the sensation, you could lift up like a cat-cow eagle. So we're inhaling, opening the throat, the heart, finding a little extension of the spine, and exhaling, rounding forward, feeling the shoulder blades expand and spread, maybe tucking the chin towards the chest. 1 or 2 more on this side, opening and releasing. Making your way back to the neutral arm position and taking your time to gently unwind. Let the arms release here. Let the arms sway towards the mat, the floor, the ground. And take your time to come back up. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe a gentle nod of the head side to side, looking towards one shoulder and the other. You might notice how it feels to lift the opposite arm as you look towards one shoulder. Arm comes forward or all the way to the sky. And then coming back to center. Depending on how high your feet are, you might add 1 or 2 blocks here or something else to come under the feet. It could be blankets or a pillow. So coming towards a butterfly position, the soles of the feet together. They don't have to be touching. They could be further apart depending on how the legs land today. And we'll just let the knees gently come up and down, sending a little movement to our knees and hips. And then see how it feels to twist towards your right. You could hold the side of the chair or near your right hip as the left hand comes to the right knee and the gaze comes to the space towards the right knee. Holding here. With the next breath, take your time to come back to center. Pause. And then taking a twist to the opposite direction. Right hand comes to left knee, gazing to the left. allowing time here to slowly come back to neutral. And if accessible, maybe you hinge forward a little bit. Be mindful of your seat so hands could stay at the tops of the legs or the side of the chair. Do not let your hips lift out of the chair. So try to stay grounded, just a little lean forward of the heart towards the feet. Notice the opening perhaps in the outer hips. And then take your time to slowly rise back up, guiding the knees back together. You could keep the feet on the block or the foot on the block if you want to extend the feet out, or bring the feet back to the floor, letting the knees sway side to side. Maybe letting the gaze go the opposite way for this little seated twist. Good. A couple deep breaths here as we return back to center, coming back to our grounded, centered position, feeling where the feet meet the earth, the support, the props. Maybe resting the hands on the tops of the legs, resting the hands over the heart. Or maybe one hand on the heart and the abdomen as you feel the breath now. Feel the heart, the quality, the length of the breath. Notice any sensation within the body from the stability, the strength, the stretch, the focus of the mind for this time. And scanning the body from the bottom of the feet to the bones of the feet that work so hard to support you. And wherever you've gone, wherever you're headed, scanning to notice your ankles, your knees, the hips. Sending awareness to the alignment of the spine, from the very bottom of the spine all the way up through the lumbar, the thoracic, the cervical spine. Sensing the shoulders and the arms, the face, the skull, and your brain. Scanning the whole back of the body, the whole front of your body, the right side, and the left side. And scanning the whole body here with awareness, with love, with gratitude. And if there's anywhere that's holding tension, you might take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, send the breath there. Inviting ease and peace into all parts of your body, your nervous system, your mind, your body, your physical body. And with lots of love and gratitude, thank you for taking time for this practice today. If you'd like to find more videos, please subscribe, like, or share. And with love and gratitude, have a wonderful day.